Hello and welcome to Today in History. My name is Sotonye Afiasimana. Okay, let's roll back the curtain, as I always say, to 331 years ago. It's the year 1789. This is when the French Revolution begins, or the fall of the Bastille Prison, pictured here. Now, what led to this? Now, the reason was Parisians knew that firearms and gunpowder were stored in this prison. So the reason wasn't to free prisoners, of which there were just seven frail military men. And those who were kept in this prison were people who didn't agree with the government, with the monarchy. Okay, so anyway, they stormed the prison because one of the ministers, who wasn't quite a minister, was sacked. Why? He wanted to levy the upper class people more taxes so that France could come out of bankruptcy. Now, France has spent a lot of money in the war, the American Revolutionary War, and the 7 Years' War as well. So the country was almost bankrupt. And so this minister's suggestion was that the rich should be taxed more. Now, there were three estates in France. You had the clergy, who were the first estate, and then nobility, the second estate, and then the third estate were the peasants, urban and rural, those who worked really hard and paid the most taxes. Now, obviously, they were not happy with this situation. So when this guy was sacked, this guy who was sympathetic to their cause, they got angry and stormed the Bastille prison. So that's how the French Revolution started and was to herald the end of the French monarchy. So it didn't quite end on this day because Napoleon the Great came in 1799. But this was the beginning of the end for the French royal family. Okay, so let's show you a few more pictures of today. So happy Bastille Day to the people of France. So obviously that's a fly past by some military aircraft, 9 of them, with the colors of France. That's a parade. The famous Eiffel Tower. Eiffel Tower again, Eiffel Tower. Beautiful French lady. How to celebrate Bastille Day? That's a good question. So happy 14th July to the people of France. Okay, so let's move on to the next event on this day. Gustav Klimt. He was an Austrian symbolist painter. Born on this day. He was one of the most prominent members of the Vienna Secession movement. Klimt is noted for his paintings, murals, sketches, and other objects of art. Klimt's primary subject was a female body, and his works are marked by frank eroticism. In addition to his figurative works, which include allegories and portraits, he painted landscapes. Among the artists of the Vienna Secession, Klimt was most influenced by Japanese art and its methods. So that's Klimt for you, and these are some of his art. You can see the Japanese influence there, the almost flat painting, which characterizes Japanese art. Chinese art as well, also. We'll show you a few more paintings. Okay, now look at this one especially. It's the skin of the object here, of the ladies. Almost flat. So this is very typical of Japanese art. This is completely flat. You can see the skin tones here, completely flat. So you see where the influence comes from. Okay, so Gustav Klimt, Austrian symbolist painter, born on this day in 1862. 1913, Gerald Ford was born. He was President of the United States, in case you haven't noticed. His full name was Gerald Rudolph Ford, but he was born Leslie Lynch King Jr. For some reason, he changed his name. He also served as the 40th Vice President of the United States before becoming the 38th President of the United States from 1974 to 1977. So that's Gerald Ford for you, who became President of the United States in August 1974. He was born on this day in 1913. 20 years later, Germany is a place all non-Nazi parties are banned. Obviously, that would have been the order from Hitler, who was beginning to groom his Nazi party, which eventually led to the Second World War in 1939 that lasted until 1945 with his suicide and defeat. 1941, so 8 years later, Hitler on the rampage again. He kills 6,000 Lithuanian Jews in a concentration camp at Vyšzalsyan. So it's Vyšzalsyan, Vyšzalsyan camp. That was in 1941. What a horrible, horrible thing to do to human beings. 6,000 in one day. Horrible. We move on to the year 1968. It's American baseball great, popularly known as Hank Aaron, but his real name was Henry Louis Aaron. He was born on the 5th of February 1934, nicknamed Hammer or Hammering Hank. He's an American retired Major League Baseball right fielder who serves as the senior vice president of the Atlanta Braves. He played 21 seasons for the Milwaukee Atlanta Braves in the National League and 2 seasons for the Milwaukee Brewers in the American League from 1954 through 1976. Aaron held the MLB record for career home runs for 33 years and still holds several MLB offensive records. For those who do not know, MLB stands for Major League Baseball. So that's a painting of Hank Aaron, and just show you a few more pictures of this talented player. See him there again. And that's Hank Aaron in his latter years. Okay, so last but not least, we're in London, United Kingdom, and it's the 14th of July 2020. So we got news today that a London school has teamed up with a social enterprise headed by Peter Paduh. That's Peter Paduh pictured here, to help the isolated stay connected during the pandemic with free laptops. The partnership was announced by Highview Primary School today in the South London borough of Sutton and Socialbox.biz, a tech social enterprise which Peter Paduh owns. The announcement is part of Socialbox's ongoing scheme to provide free laptops to the vulnerable in order to reduce loneliness during lockdown. Socialbox's founder, pictured here, Peter Paduh, who came to the UK as a refugee in 1995, said, The Laptops for the Homeless and Vulnerable initiative empowers disadvantaged people and promotes the principle of self-determination via access to the internet. For some people who are already isolated, like the elderly, this is the only contact they may have with the outside world. Peter added, "We want everyone interested to get involved in this initiative so we can make a big impact on our community in the future." The coronavirus has highlighted we need to do even more to help the vulnerable in society. My first break coming to the UK as a refugee was receiving a free computer, so I know from personal experience what a difference it can make, said Peter Paduh. Born in 1977 in Sarajevo, he is best known as the Young Business Person of the Year at the London Business Awards 2005 and for his investment with the Computers for Older People initiative with the Mayor of London and Age Concern, and as a spokesperson for refugees in the UK and for corporate social responsibility. So Peter Paduh, there's also a cartoon of him as well, which is quite nice. It's not a funny one. It's not, what's it called now? There's a name for this. Skips my mind. I'm sure to come back. Caricature. That's all. It's not. So, yeah. Nice guy. Nice initiative. Yeah, he's giving back to a country that gave him a place to live, from war-torn Sarajevo. And he also got a computer. That was his first break. And today he's successful. So, it's a good example for all of us to give back to our communities, wherever they may be. We might be in a foreign country. It's good to give back to the community where you live in, the community where you've come from as well. Give back to them as well, Okay, so on that encouraging note, we come to the end of today's Today in History. Like this video if you like it by giving me a thumbs up, and also if you'd like to subscribe, that would be great. Just click the notification bell so that you're notified when I upload a new video. Thanks again, guys. I appreciate you watching my channel. Stay safe, and I shall see you tomorrow for another edition of Today in History. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.